Today's Diana Prince is Mary Wiegand. Mary is a seasoned retail expert who started as an inventory planner for big names like Target, Tiffany & Company, and Victoria's Secret. She later joined the startup world of Chloe and Isabel. In 2017, Mary founded Boon to offer flexible and personalized inventory planning services to small businesses at affordable prices. When she's not working, Mary loves spending time with her big blended family of 6 kids. Mary, welcome to Diana Prince.
Thanks. It's wonderful to be here with you today.
When I read about what you do, so my brain went right to my days of, being a stock person at Bradley's. And yes, I am dating myself there. But it was eons ago. But, all of us have some idea of what inventory management is or, what inventory is. So let's just talk about that. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But I think, just for everyone's benefit, maybe we can start out with the basics. And maybe you can give us, a little background on what inventory planning is. It sounds intuitive, but maybe you can just, set us right.
Absolutely. I hear this all the time, of course, being in this functional area. At its core, inventory planning is a strategic approach in making sure that a brand has the right product in the right amount at the right time, and using the data available in order to make those kind of strategic decisions the best we can. Because also I will say that we're never fortune tellers, right? We are trying to forecast the best we can, but it's not an exact science. It's definitely a mix of art and science in order to try to achieve those optimal inventory levels.
Okay. And how did you get into inventory planning?
Yeah, absolutely. So my background starts in true corporate retail. So I was trained by the best in retail, started my career at Target's headquarters. So learned how to do all the best practices, work within the confines of obviously a huge organization, learning inventory planning. From there, I went on and worked at Tiffany & Company. So learned a little bit of the luxury side of inventory planning, things turning a little bit at a different pace, but also seeing a different customer base. From there, went on to Victoria's Secret and learned the specialty market. So had gone from, the mass merchant to the luxury to specialty retail, all in inventory planning, understanding how the different products move, how products launch, going through season after season of watching inventory sales curves happen throughout the year. And then after spending time at those 3 retailers, went into the startup world, where I went and worked at a startup direct selling jewelry company in Manhattan. It was called Chloe and Isabel. So at that point, took all of the skills that I had from the big 3 companies and then really learned how to apply it to a small startup company, Chloe and Isabel. Worked there for a few years before starting Boone.
So those are big names that we are all familiar with. And I find it interesting that they all, fill a specific niche. So what was different from one to the other? I mean, does Tiffany & Company stock the crystal the same as Target?
It's a great question. And I think, over the course of my career, I've experienced so much that I can tell you, yes, at the core, the principles are the same. Right. So what I said at the beginning of what is inventory planning, it's trying to strategically align that you have the right amount of inventory at the right time of the right products. So whether it's Tiffany Crystal and they may only sell a couple a month, or my Target ready to wear swimsuits that would sell a couple an hour per store potentially, I still have to understand the inputs that are coming into the business, the information from marketing, the details from the new product launches, the understanding of what's happening in the economy. What am I learning from historicals? All those same type of information comes into an inventory planner's functional expertise in order to try to do the best planning possible to make sure the future is planned appropriately. So yes, just different velocities, really.
Okay. Are you now servicing small businesses?
Yes. So in making the transition to Boone, we definitely are focused on providing that same functional expertise, but to brands who otherwise wouldn't have it or don't have the budget in order to pull somebody full-time in for this expertise.
Well, I would think that it would be more crucial, right? Because there's waste, stuff that doesn't sell and stuff like that. So when we're talking about a smaller business, a product-based business, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I would think that those budgets can't handle that.
Of course. I mean, for almost every small brand, inventory is the number one expense that they have to, on their budget. It can teeter on payroll, of course, depending on how big the team is. But generally, in a new product-based business, inventory is far and away the number one expense in the budget. So yes, it can be super critical to get that right. And the best you can align that cash flow outlay to inventory as to when you're expected to sell it and get that cash back.
Yeah. So then I'm going to ask you to give me a little backstory on
Sure.
what made you jump. What made you jump from the corporate environment, regular paycheck,
Yes.
regular paycheck and everything, to start Boone? Why?
Yeah,
Why did that
is
happen?
a really great question. So it really was two aspects of it. One, from the career side, I had done, the three big retailers, then I worked in startup. And so I'd had quite the experience and felt like I had an opportunity to expand that to brands that otherwise wouldn't be able to afford it, and really just kind of wanted to make my impact in a place where, we are just selling products. It doesn't necessarily feel like there's a huge opportunity to make a change in the world, but through starting my own, I felt I had that opportunity. But probably more than that, it was my path as a mother. And so having gone through that time at the startup, I'd had 2 kids at that point. And so it was really difficult for me to balance being a full-time startup employee, yes, getting a regular paycheck, but being tied to regular hours and to all the things that come with, a singular brand startup. And so I really thought I would try something different and see if I could blend my life a little better between motherhood and using the career skills that I'd built up over the decade and a half before.
And has it worked for you?
It has worked wonderfully. In fact, it has its trials and tribulations, absolutely. And I tell anyone who's talking about the entrepreneurial path that it comes with so many benefits. And yes, there are so many struggles too, but it is really, really rewarding. And for my life, it has worked wonderfully. I had the 2 kids at the time I started Boone. I then gave birth to twins. So then I quickly had 4 kids, and then went through some, personal trials and tribulations where I got divorced and then eventually into a new relationship. So I have 6 kids under my roof. So it's quite a balance and blend of what happens in work and happens in life. And also through Boone, I was able to provide that to others on the team. So my entire team that works with me at Boone is all part-time. They are people that don't want to commit to a full-time retail job that may take 40 or 50 hours, but they have amazing skills that we're able to bring to these smaller brands and allow them to blend their lives and work back together too. So it's been an amazing, amazing journey to be able to do this.
Wow. So 6 kids,
Yeah.
blended family.
Yes.
Then let's jump in there. So when all this happened, I'm a lot older than you, but did the Brady Bunch come to mind?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yes. A little blocks of us,
exactly
faces all around. Yes. Yes.
But Carol, I haven't watched it in quite a while, but Carol Brady, obviously, the mom had no job, and she definitely didn't have, and she definitely had a full-time housekeeper and everything like that. But that's not your gig, right?
No, I definitely have a full-time job, more than full-time, of course, when you own a company.
Exactly.
I do not have a full-time housekeeper, although it is one of the things, if I ever win the lottery, I'm getting a full-time housekeeper and a chef. Yeah. Yes. We will make sure we stay in the modern age. And it may not even be a female housekeeper. You never know, right?
Well, that's true.
In the world we live in today. But no, I all of that support. But what I do have is an amazing team that works with me at Boone, an amazing partner now in providing, the household for these 6 kids, and the flexibility. I work a lot of hours, but the thing that's different about when I was in the grind of corporate is, yes, I can work in the morning before the kids are up, and I took them all to camp this morning, and I'll be able to pick them up. And of course, I'll probably get back on my laptop after dinner many nights, but not every night. And I can work from anywhere in the country, and it allows me just the flexibility to be able to be both things. Now, I don't sleep a lot. That's where it ends, is that my sleep count is not very good. And I know that's it is one of my goals to figure out how to balance myself a little bit better and really be able to protect the self-care that I need to be able to continue to be at my best every day.
I can tell you as an empty nester that it doesn't, for us, I don't know. It's a woman thing where we over worry. And we can knock the sleep right out of our souls, no matter how tired we are.
Yeah. Yes.
But so a day in the life. You did mention that you got them off to camp and everything like that, but give us a little snapshot of how old are how old are they, just so that we can get a point of reference of what you're managing and a day in the life. How do you manage it all? I know you're working remotely and everything like that. Yeah. But are there any particular tips that work for you, like time blocking or what have you?
Absolutely. I mean, I think in a day in a life, you could get a lot out of, the answers to all those questions. So I am an early riser. I know my team knows I'm a morning person. So my alarm generally goes off about 5 o'clock. I get up, I'm able to have coffee in peace. You know what? For me, that is such self-care that I can have almost one whole cup of coffee that's hot before the kids get up. And to me, again, back to the sleep thing, I'd rather have that than be awoken by a kid disrupting me at 6:15. So if I can get up, get a cup of coffee, check on a few emails, just kind of get my day started, that's the best for me in the morning. Then my youngest kids are the twins. They are 4 years old. And everybody in this house is pretty early riser. So by around 6:15, the twins are usually walking down the stairs. Good morning, mommy. How you doing? And we get them breakfast quickly. My kids also all wake up hungry. So we're doing a lot of breakfast moving through between 6 o'clock. Then the others will get up. The other kids I have girls who are 6 and 7 years old. They're stepsisters, so that's why they're so close in age. So the girls are 6 and 7, and then the older boys are 9 and 11. So the kids range from 4 to 11. And yeah, everybody will be up by 7 o'clock. So everybody's eating breakfast. At this point, I've probably closed the laptop or maybe checking on a few things, but getting everybody ready for the day. One tip and trick is I have at least the older 4 kids know their morning list. I don't have to repeat things to them a bunch of times, or if I do, I just say, did you get your list done? Of course, the list is getting dressed, brushing your teeth, checking your water bottle. Do you have the right shoes for the day? Kind of just making sure they're ready to walk out the door. With the 4-year-olds, it's not quite the same, so I'm still working a lot on getting them moving through their morning. But we all do a pretty good job at getting ourselves out the door between 7 and 7:30 every single day. The twins, because they're not at school age, they go to daycare and the same drop off, same pickup every single day, which is one nice element. My older 4, it depends on, school year. I'm getting them on the bus, but summertime, it's a free for all. Who knows where they're going? In fact, 3 went to one camp today and 1 went to a different camp because they didn't all want to do the same things. One of the girls is very into theater, so she's at an acting camp, where the other 3 are at outdoor camps. So we have to sort of split the drop off, but my partner, Doug, ended up taking the 1 to theater camp and I only had to take the 3. So we definitely balance how we work pickups and drop offs. And then I came home and now I have time. So this is like any mom who's working, our core hours of 8 to 3, even where our kids are generally not at home. Those are our core work hours. So I do try to time block a little bit, but my calendar is very, very full. So as a CEO and founder, my goal is to get every single meeting done during those hours. So that when I'm doing other things, it's just the more administrative tasks. It's a little bit of the workload that I can do as more flex when the kids are around. Basically, I'm often back-to-back meetings while they're out of the house so that I can get all of that pushed through. And then we try to, in the evenings, it can be a variety of activities. We try to get them outside. We love to be outside in this family, just experiencing nature and fresh air and not be all crammed in the same house together, for sure. We try to have family dinners, and feeding 6 kids is a little bit like a mess hall where I usually build the plates in the kitchen and then hand them all out to the kids. We will let them, after a certain number of time has passed, we'll let them change food. Like if someone doesn't want their green beans that day and somebody wants their potatoes, they can swap around at that point in dinner.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So we tend to just try to take each thing as it comes at us. I don't try to be too strict, but they know the rules of the house. They understand the base, like almost like with a company, we have sort of a family vision, mission, values, and we talk about how we act in our community. And so they're really, really good kids. It's not as chaotic as it might sound to have 6 in the house.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I want, the one thing that I do want to ask is, in your lifetime, I read a lot of books, and, there's always one that's, front and center that I know that this one did just, pivoted for me. And it's, I want to know what that book is for you. What is the all-time book that just changed things for you? It could be a fiction, a nonfiction book, but what book would that be?
I think for me, given everything that I've experienced in my more recent life, that book would be Untamed by Glennon Doyle. Came out in 2020, time of turmoil for many of us. But for me, that was right when I gave birth to my twins, went through, a pretty tough divorce, was on my own, and really enjoyed her honest, vulnerable, like memoir, but it was also self-help. So it was really this empowerment. And I think it's pushed me a lot in the woman that I am today, in pushing me in my business. I still think of some of the quotes that she has in there. And in fact, my Christmas card that year, was titled like, "We Can Do Hard Things." And it went out to everybody. And just knowing that, you can be vulnerable and put it out there. It's really definitely changed my perception on life.
That's something you just put you just gave me a little perspective there, because I didn't do the math. But your twins were born during COVID, and your divorce happened during COVID, and I can't imagine going through that. So more power to you. You are a superhero for sure. My goodness.
Yeah. It was tough, but the book helps too. It's a really good book, really, really positive outlook.
Is it fiction or non?
It's it's her memoir, but throughout it, it has, so it's very nonfiction, and it just leans between memoir and self-help, but from her direct perspective, from Glennon Doyle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to close it out. Sure, always takes it for us. So I want to thank you for joining us, Mary, here on Diana Prince Lives Next Door. And your story is absolutely amazing. And I don't know. I think I want your cojones.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's a lot.
Yes,
it is. Oh my goodness.
It is.
Thank you for tuning in to Diana Prince Lives Next Door. If you want to learn about Mary and Boone, be sure to visit her website in the description. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep seeking out extraordinary stories. Until next time, this is Angela Acosta signing off.